The industry has more approved permits for production on federal lands than they can possibly use. That's a fact. Let me say it again. They have more than they can use. So my message to these companies is use the permits or lose them. Don't say we can't, you don't have access. Second, I'm telling the industry, you're making record profits due to Putin's war in Ukraine. Use those profits to increase production and refining. Don't use those profits to buy back your stocks and dividends. Look, thirdly, we'll talk about the global price cap on Russian oil that I got our partners to agree to last month at the G7. That'll keep supply up and Putin's revenues down. In the days and weeks ahead, I'm going to keep doing what I can to bring down the price of gas at the pump. But the real answer is to get to a clean energy economy as soon as possible. Turn this into something positive. That means cleaner renewable energy, more affordable electric vehicles, and clean energy manufactured here in the United States. That's how we'll protect the climate and create jobs. I have more to say about this in our discussions, and I'm more in the coming days. But look, I want to stop here and turn it over to you, Brian, and let's get this briefing started. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, Mr. President. So we're hoping today to cover three broad areas. The first is market developments, both where we are and where we're headed, and I'll turn a moment to Chair Rouse on that front. The second is developments in the industry and the work that your team has been doing at your direction to engage with the industry on refining, on hurricane preparedness, and other issues that Secretary Granholm will update and brief you on. And the third, as you mentioned, is on international developments, where on the back of your securing an agreement to explore the price cap coming out of the G7, Secretary Yellen is back from a multi-country trip across Asia, and she and Amos will give you an update on international developments as well. So with your permission, sir, I'll turn it over to Chair Rouse to talk about market developments.
Thank you. Sure. Cease. I'm actually here.
Terrific. So, Mr. President, as you mentioned at the top, Americans are getting some very much badly needed breathing room at the pump. The national average retail gas price today fell to $4.41. That's about 60 cents lower than its mid-June peak. While this is a national average, it is affected by the traditionally higher prices in Western states. What you see when you look under these data is that in more than 30,000 stations, they're now selling gas for less than $4 a gallon. In fact, the most common gas station price in America today is $3.99 a gallon. This kind of decline at this time of year is quite unique. This is the 38th day in a row of declining retail gas prices. In fact, the rate of decline is among the fastest in over a decade, a dramatic decline during the peak summer driving season. In other words, it has been a trend, not a daily blip. The decline translates into concrete savings for American families. The typical two-driver family is saving more than $60 a month. Economy-wide, that would mean Americans will spend about $6.5 billion less in a month over a coming month, and that would be real savings. Looking forward, we expect gas prices to decline further. However, as you noted, they are still too high. Refiner margins remain roughly double what is typical for this time of year, though they have declined from their record highs. Retailer margins are very elevated and are around 50 cents above what is typical. What that means is we expect gas prices at the pump to continue to come down. If the historical relationship between oil and gas prices were to hold, these lower oil prices could translate into an additional 40-cent decline in gas prices if industry passes along cost savings to consumers. This would bring the national average retail price to around $4. Of course, energy markets remain highly volatile, and that's especially true in the current environment with the additional disruption created by Putin's invasion of Ukraine. So oil prices could rise again, and it is very difficult to reliably predict where these prices will be over the longer term. Thank you, Brian.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cece. I'm going to turn it over to Secretary Granholm, but before we do, we're going to ask the press to leave.
How do you feel?
I would just note, Mr. President, that
Are you feeling better?
one of the things that has been